Hi friends, I'm back again. I have another story for you to read or listen to this week. It's called Zinnia's Flower Garden. Okay, Miss J is learning how to use the technology, so I'm going to try to get the pictures in the camera nice and close today so that you can see it better. I love the front cover of this page. There's so much to look at. This story was written by, and the author's name is right down here, Monica Wellington. And Monica did a great job drawing pictures all the way around her cover today. I see a spade or a digging tool. I see seed packets, a ladybug, of course, a butterfly, a potted plant, looks like she's growing something, and a worm. I wonder what all of those things have to do with Zinnia's Flower Garden. Let's find out. Are you ready? Now, I want you to find a connection to the story. Remember, there are three kinds of connections. And this is how I do it in Miss J's class. We do text to text. That's like a book. And you might find a text to text connection between this story and Oscar the Frog. Or maybe you have read another story about a flower garden, and that would be a text to text connection between this book and the one that you read. That's one kind of connection. Another kind of connection would be a text to self. Now, what that means is you might have a connection to a flower garden in this story, whatever Zinnia is telling us about in this flower garden, and your own flower garden. Or maybe your grandma or grandpa have a flower garden, or maybe mom or dad. So you might find a connection that way. It's called text to self, okay? And the third kind of connection you can make to a story is, I do this way, text to world, like the whole world. Like, I bet there are people all over the world who have some type of flowers in their garden, or people who love to grow flowers. And I bet it's not just here in Mount Pleasant, but it might be somewhere else in the world. Everybody, I bet, loves flowers. So those are the three kinds of connections to the story. And after I get done reading, I want you to think about how you connected to the story, or maybe you read another book that connected to the story. In the end, what Miss J was going to do the last time was we are going to do a retelling. So let me turn the camera just a little bit. So we're going to use the, the pictures from the story to do a retelling. So when we do a retelling, remember, you have to listen carefully and think. So listen and think. I'm pointing to my ear right there. Listen to the story and think about all the parts of the story. So when we get done, you can help me do a retelling on this chart, okay? All right, so here we go. Let's enjoy the story first. Zinnia's Flower Garden by Monica Wellington. And here is another title page. And that is the table of contents. Can you see the table? Oops, let me get a control of the book here. Table of contents. That's where the author tells you that there are more things in the story besides Zinnia's garden, flower garden. There's also some science. There's an informational text at the back of the book on page 32 that we could look at. We'll see how quick this video goes. So here's Zinnia. Here's her yard. I wonder if that's her house. It might be. I think it is. But look, she has a house with lots of yard, and here's her garden. If you look really close, look at who she's got in her wheelbarrow. A cat and a dog. All right, I'm going to fold this story in half because it's so big. All right, here it goes. Spring has arrived. Zinnia is getting her garden ready for planting. She digs up the soil and turns it over with her shovel. She takes out stones and rakes the dirt smooth. The warm sun feels good as she works. Are you noticing all the things in the picture? Here she is, digging in her soil. Look at her helpers. Kitty and her puppy. Zinnia carefully plants many kinds of flower seeds in rows. She covers the seeds with dirt and pats it all down very gently. Are you noticing our sight words? She sprinkles the ground with water. So these are all the things that Zinnia needed. I don't know, a bird must be dropping by to say hello. Here's her seeds. I see cosmos, black-eyed Susan, and asters. And this is what the seeds look like. Can you see that really close? How fun is that? Those are cosmos seeds. Those are black-eyed Susan seeds. Oh, and down here she has some more. Here's gonna need some water for our garden. We learned that in science, remember? Here's the aster seeds. See how, look at those? And here are some sweet pea seeds. And of course she has gloves. And I love that she made a journal entry right here. It says, May 3rd, very busy planting my seeds today. Such hard work. So it looks like she's keeping track of her garden progress. And there she is. She's still got her helpers. Little bluebird, kitty, and puppy helping her out. Look at how nice and neat her rows are. Do you see her putting down the seeds right here? All right, let's read the next page. Zinnia waits for the seeds to sprout. The seeds need the sun to shine, the rain to fall, and many days to pass. It is hard to wait so long for her seeds to grow. We've learned about this too. Look at these different kinds of clouds. This says stratus cloud, cumulus cloud, cirrus cloud, nimbus cloud, and here's her temperature, or her thermometer, I should say. And it gives her the temperature. And here's her journal entry. It says May 12th, rain all day, ugh, but it is good for my garden. Here's her rainy day picture. Can you see it all? Puppy and kitty waiting nearby. Here's bluebird again. But her garden needs water to grow. We learned that in science, didn't we? Every day, Zinnia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way up through the dirt. Look at down here. There's the seed she planted. It's growing some roots and it's starting to sprout. It's getting taller. And then look here, lots of roots and the plant is above ground. Her journal says May 20th, my first sprout today. Wow. Looks like my mouse might be helping her write. Let's see what's on the other page. Here she is looking at her sprout with kitty and puppy, of course. Next page. Now Zinnia's garden is full of green sprouts growing toward the sun. Little stems grow taller. Little leaves get bigger. Little roots burrow deeper into the earth. Here's her sprouts. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And here's another example. I like how the author drew pictures and included a real life picture. This is a real picture. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's a real life picture that she included. And then over here is her journal, and it says, May 29th, lots of sprouts now. I can't even count them all. Let's look and see. Whoa, check out her garden. Can you see? Look at all those sprouts. How clever is she of a gardener? She labeled each row with the type of flower that she planted. That's very cool. That's a sunflower. That's one of Miss J's favorites. Zinnia takes care of her garden every day. When the sun is hot and the soil is dry, she waters her thirsty plants. You can see here she got out a hose and a sprinkler. And it says June 17th, no rain for a week. My garden is so dry. Remember, plants must have water to grow, right? So here's a picture of her watering her garden. Again, I don't know if you can tell, but these are real pictures of a real garden. And then she drew her own artwork around. She's a pretty Clever author and illustrator, isn't she? She pulls up pesky weeds that try to crowd out her plants. She inspects them for greedy bugs. She measures how tall her strong and healthy plants are growing. Every day they get bigger and bigger. And here she's got a ruler to help her measure. And then here's her journal entry. It says, July 7th, my sunflower plants are so tall. And then she said, I hate weeds. Oh, weeds are hard work. Look at, here's a dandelion. It's pretty, but it's kind of a weed too. Look at all of her tools that she's using for gardening. And here's some insects that she's finding flying around her garden there. Do you see them? Those can be pesky. So here she is measuring her plants. Check that out. Maybe if you grow some flowers, maybe you can learn to measure your plants. First thing in the morning, Zinnia runs out to check her garden. She is excited to see little buds growing on many of her plants. July 18th, my zinnias have buds. I wonder what color they're going to be. And the author decided to include a little life cycle of a butterfly right here. It says eggs, caterpillar, chrysalis, adult, ready to fly. That's a monarch butterfly. And here she is running outside to see her beautiful garden. She's very excited. And then at last, she finds what she has been waiting for, the first flower. One bud has bloomed. How beautiful. There's an exciting mark. Do you see it? Exclamation point. And what a sweet smell. There are many more buds that will open soon. And it says July 25th. My first flower today, and lots more to come. Amazing. A big monarch butterfly landed on my finger. How lucky is that? And here she is looking at one of her flowers. Look at this big smile on her face right here. Oh, look who else is happy. Her puppy and her kitty. Her flower is beautiful. The garden grows and grows with blossoming flowers. Zinnia paints, reads, and picnics among them. Butterflies flutter, bees buzz. Zinnia's garden is her favorite place to be on these warm summer days. Look at all of her beautiful flowers. Here she is painting. Here she is reading. Cat's taking a nap. August 11th. See this started in May and now she's in August. So that's May, June, July, August. So 4 months went by and she says, I love my garden. And here she is. Look how happy she is. Those are some beautiful flowers. Maybe you'll grow a garden just like Zinnia did. Her flowers are abundant. That means there's a lot. And Zinnia cut some to arrange into bouquets. The fragrant scents of the flowers swirl around her in the warm breeze. August 21st. My sunflowers are taller than I am. And she has all kinds of flowers. Cosmos, marigold, sunflower, snapdragon, zinnia, black-eyed Susan, sweet peas. There's the sweet peas. Oh, sorry, my book keeps folding. Sweet peas, and these are called Sweet William. And these ones are called Aster. Here she is cutting some of her flowers. Do you remember what that one's called? Did you say sunflower? It's a sunflower. One hot summer day, Zinnia has a lemonade stand and puts up a sign. Pick your own flowers. Customers come and gather bunches of flowers and drop money in her jar. Don't forget to smell the flowers. August 28th. Busy today at my stand. Everyone loves my flowers. Look at all the money she's making. And there's her sign and lemonade sale. Pick your own flowers. Lemonade for sale. In the autumn, as it gets colder, Zinnia picks the last flowers from her garden. She finds ripe seeds that have formed. They are ready to be collected. She will save them to plant next year. So here she is collecting seeds from all of her flowers. Look at, there's some seeds falling out of there. There's some seeds, and she's going to collect those. And now it's fall. Autumn is another word for fall. See all the leaves changing colors? And she's dressed warmer. The winter days are short. The sun is dim, and the ground is covered with snow. But Zinnia is already planning next year's garden. When spring comes, she will be ready to grow her very own flowers again. So she's already planning. Here she is. She's still writing in her journal. I love that. It says December 27th. I can't wait until spring. And look outside her window. It's winter. But she's already dreaming about warmer weather. All right, friends. That was a long story. Good job listening to the whole thing. I want to do one last quick activity. Okay? Really quick. This is, let me get my camera on there. This is a retelling chart. Can you see it? So this chart tells about some of the main events in the story. And when we talk about retelling, we talk about trying to tell the story in our own words. So let's start right here. I bet some of you have already got some ideas about that picture. If you want to think about each picture for just a minute, you can pause the video and maybe tell mom or dad all about the story that you just listened to, but try to say it in your own words, okay? So there's a lot of things going on in each picture, but I'm going to get started on a retelling for you, okay? So here we have Zinnia, who has a garden and she wants to plant all of her flowers, okay? The story didn't really tell about her puppy and kitty talking or helping her in the story, so I wouldn't tell about that. But I would just say that Zinnia made a plan. She had her flowers all in a row, and she had to dig into the dirt to plant the seeds. Next, lots of things happened. She talked about how her plants started to grow. Remember when she saw her first sprout? Well, here she is. And she talked about on hot summer days how her plants needed water. Her plants need lots of water. They also talked about how she had to weed her garden, and she was measuring her plants, and she was watching for those buds to show up on her plants, letting her know that the flowers were about ready to bloom. Do you remember who else showed up at her garden? Some pesky insects that were problems. Sometimes the insects like to eat plants, so she had to keep watching out for them as well. And then down here at the bottom, after her plants grew into flowers, she decided to start cutting some of them and selling them, right? It says, pick your own flowers. And she had a sale, and that was in August. And she put her flowers up for sale, and they could buy lemonade. And remember, she made a lot of money. Then after the summer sale was over, she started collecting all the seeds because now it was fall or autumn, and she collected all of the seeds and we're saving them for next spring. And here she is. Remember, she was dreaming about her spring planting because it was winter time, and you can't plant flowers in the winter. So she was already making plans with her journal about what she was going to do in the spring. Well, friends, that was a long video, so I hope you really enjoyed the story about Zinnia's flower garden. All right, we will talk again soon, friends. It's been nice working with you this week. I hope that you learned a lot, and I miss you. We miss you all. Keep being good, do your best, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.